What's up, my nuggets? MisterFantasmo here, bringing you another free-for-all. That's right, it's kind of my specialty, if you didn't know. On Slums this time, it's a little Black Ops 1 homage. We're playing with the Nomad, one of my favorite characters to play with in free-for-all, with the KN-57, one of my favorite, if not my all-time favorite gun in Black Ops 4, at least thus far that I've found. It seems to be the case. We are, coming at you again with yet another flawless gameplay against just the most top-notch competitors of all time, including this guy right here, running around with a knife. And now, I know what you're thinking. He's not even looking at me. What is he doing? He's just got a knife. But trust me, these guys are dangerous. You know what? Here, just take a look. Take a look at this. Alright, where were we? Oh, right, here we go. Okay. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? In certain situations, the knifers are deadly. Not when they're just spawning in the beginning of the game. They have to have some time to get to their hidey holes. But once they're in their hidey hole, they are probably the most deadly close range situation you can run into, except for maybe a Spitfire or that weird crazy shotgun that has a flashlight on the end of it and gives you an aneurysm. I actually thought that guy was dead when I was shooting him. I thought I had enough bullets to kill him, and I stopped shooting him, and then he just kept shooting me, and then that's how that situation pretty much went down. But overall, I would say in this particular match, obviously because I'm posting it, we don't do too horrible, but I won't spoil everything in this match. One thing that I was slowly realizing that I can say that isn't too much of a spoiler while I was inside this match is that a lot more people have ninja than normal, or at least than I'm used to from the days of old, or I guess I should say a lot more people have dead silence. Gotta watch how I use the term ninja nowadays. It's a little bit more weighted than it used to be. I don't know why I was hanging out in that fountain area, the little wish station back there with the fountain where you can just kind of, if you didn't know this, you can sacrifice your gun. You can go into the fountain and just put your gun in there, and in return you will gain XP. So you can sort of wish for more XP by just sacrificing your gun. The downside is you don't have a gun, so that could be maybe cause some trouble for you. But if you're running around like a couple of people in this lobby, where I think at least one person, if not two, were running around just the old fisticuffs out, or I should say at least with the candy cane or one of those crazy Christmas bells or whatever they are. There are some terrifying melee devices in this game, no doubt, but that aside from that and the fact that everybody has dead silence and is super quiet and hard to hear when they're sneaking up on you, score streaks are another thing. I was trying to use my second score streak to get my third score streak. It's a little bit different than the UAV predator missile or airstrike chopper of old. It takes a little bit more than 7 kills to get everything, but once you get the ball up and rolling, and once you get your specialists going, which specialists are pretty much skill streaks, or score streaks I should say, in and of themselves. That's why I run the Nomad, or people can run things like Prophet. Anything that's good standalone is a very strong thing. And what is going on in here in this middle section? Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, that guy didn't even have a melee weapon. He had literal fisticuffs out. He was just going for it, duking it out old style. Had a little tiff with somebody and was just settling it right there, right by the fountain area, the little middle room where you settle your disputes before you go in, or maybe after you make your wish. It looked like he had no weapons, so he got a little XP, but he did die. I don't prefer to wish upon a fountain.
Well, maybe you should look in the smart part of your brain. Nailed it.
Things like the Prophet's sniper rifle and the Nomad's pit bull are I think some of the main obstacles that are in my way right now, preventing me from getting the flawless free-for-all. Although I haven't tried too hard to, I haven't played too conservatively in my little hidey hole to try and get a flawless free-for-all quite yet. I feel like it is within reach, but those score streaks, and by score streaks I mean just the specialist abilities, are a little tricky to navigate around. It does help, almost like something like Painkiller used to be, how it can kind of help people along eventually throughout the game. But unlike Painkiller, it doesn't require you to die a bunch. It just kind of requires you to exist within the match a certain amount of time. That's one of my biggest reservations to getting into a game late, is that I know I probably won't get my specialist rewards, or if I do, I will be getting them a lot later than my opponents. But anyways, we're gonna just jump right into this next game here. It was actually, I think, the very next game that I played with. So as you can see, there are still knifers afoot, and I know it might look silly if I'm showing you a game with knifers in it, because obviously I'm killing them a lot. If this is a gameplay that I'm willing to show you guys, I'd never like to show my face when it looks poor. But look at this, look at that. He's just waiting in the stairs, similar to the clips from earlier in this video. He is just, I mean, literally stalking his prey. I don't know what other words to use there, but anyways, we don't have to talk about free for all and how to play and me using my favorite gun. These are all things that you guys probably know by now, and you've probably picked up on. I actually have no clue what that guy was doing. I'm almost convinced. Here's a conspiracy theory for you. I'm convinced that Activision and Black Ops, in order to pad their player base a little bit, because I think a lot of people are playing Blackout. Oh my god, every time I see a knifer, they just seem to be running with no regard for their own lives, just like straight in a straight line, just straight for you, Freddy Krueger style. But anyways, I think Black Ops might be putting bots in to their multiplayer lobbies in order to not only add more people. Look at that guy. That guy just killed 3 people in a row. Just stabby, 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 stab. What do you think? Do you guys think that Activision is putting bots in their multiplayer lobbies? You get easier kills, you fill up lobbies quicker, more effectively, more efficiently. I don't know, could be happening, but again, this is probably nothing that you guys don't already know about. You guys know that they're putting bots in their lobbies. You guys have seen them before, right? It can't just be me. I'm just telling you guys. At this point, I'm just telling you guys stuff that you already know. It's just like I'm just kind of like a college professor who shows up late to class and starts teaching you last year's syllabus. And nobody needs that kind of guy around. That kind of reminds me, weirdly enough, of a professor that I actually did have in college. I think he was my geography professor, I want to say, or something like that. He didn't show up late to class necessarily. I don't think I ever remember him showing up late to class, but a memory that I do have of him, at least a couple times, he would come to class, and it was a kind of a large class. I mean, I guess big enough for no one to speak up when something like this were to happen, but he would come to class, and he had like several different levels of geography that he taught, and he would come to our class, which was like a lower sort of intro level like I was not planning on majoring in plate tectonics or anything like that. I was just looking to get my elective and get out of there. And so he was teaching a lower level geography in my class, but sometimes he would come to class and for whatever reason think that he was teaching one of his higher level courses, and so he would just start talking about this stuff that at first I think everybody in our class was unsure, like, is this something that we should know, like, is this something that he said that we should have read for this class, or so there was and I'm not saying that this happened every time, but there were at least 2 or 3 times where this where I can recall it, so I know it happened at least that many times, if not more. But he would have this sort of, look at that guy. I was so fed up with these knifers at this point. I was like, this is turned into a dang horror game. Anyways, what was his name? Mr. Walters, I think this guy's name was Mr. Walters. Anyways, Mr. Walters would come in and he'd be teaching like basically the wrong class, and nobody would say anything. Like, I don't know if we were too scared because we were afraid that maybe this was what we were supposed to be learning, but deep down I think the people knew that this wasn't what was going on. So after he would be talking for like just such a long time, like an unnecessary length of time, someone would sort of jut in and be like, excuse me, but is this what we should be, are we talking about the right thing? And he would get so furious. I don't know if he got furious the first time, but I remember once people didn't call him out on it immediately, he would get so mad. He was just a he was just a professor with a hot temper, I guess you could say. He was up there talking about like advanced tectonics and lunar erosions, and we were just like, excuse me, Mr. Walters, I think you're out of your dang mind. Actually, one day we went out on a field trip, like a literal field trip. Like, we just went out into a field, and that was our trip. It was just like a little walk outside of the class, but it's geography, so you got to get outside and see the world, I guess. And we had this, we were doing like an experiment. We had this like earthquake machine or something, for lack of a better term. It's just this device that you go and you set up outside, and then you can like hit the ground with like a big hammer, or maybe we just jumped or something like that. But you could make an impact in the earth, and then this machine would sort of pick it up. It would pick up like a seismic wave or whatever. But anyways, we were going out on this field trip, and we walk, it was on campus, but it was like a ways away from the classroom. Like, we walked like halfway across campus or whatever to get to this flat field spot, and we go to set up this machine, and then halfway through setting it up, we realized that we were missing a part, like one of the vital parts to make it work. And I just remember the look on his face, and the look of really just disappointment in the class lineup. Like, at this point, there had been a couple times where he was teaching the wrong class and we didn't call him out on it. Like, he knew what this class was comprised of, or at least he had a pretty good idea that he did. And I don't think we actually ended up doing the experiment at all. I think we just packed it up, and no one was mad about it, but I think he was kind of mad about it. But anyways, that was Mr. Walters. Mr. Walters White, I think was his full name. He ran some sort of a lab on the side that he never talked about. But anyways, you guys, this is I thought putting 2 gameplays side by side would give me enough time to commentate, but apparently I need 3 or more. What can I say? Mr. Walters just is a man that deserves a clear and defined story and history. But anyways, you guys, that is the end of my commentary. Stay tuned for more commentaries very soon in the future. Lots more Call of Duty commentaries coming your way, because this is an easy way for me to talk to you guys. But if you want a much more interactive way of me talking to you guys, you can tune into the Twitch streams. Actually, today, if you tune in on the day that this was uploaded, you'll be able to come into the Twitch stream if you want. We'll be streaming, Puf and I are actually going to be streaming some Little Big Planet. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can come over and hang out with Puf and I. We've started the game a little bit. She's pretty good at it, and so we're gonna continue that today. We haven't started it on stream though, so this will be the first time anybody sees us cooperate, hopefully, very well together with our little sack children. But yeah, that's about it for me. I hope to see you guys in the next commentary, and until then, toodly toodle noodle dudes. Goodbye.